Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the pre-orders and new releases for Saturday the 3rd of November. October's finished, guys, that's it. We're now into November or mid-November. It's Saturday, I'm still awaiting my Orky goodness. Maybe I will get the Orcs on Monday, which means that it will be a challenge because I'll have a lot of work to do for the channel over the week when I work my full-time job and my part-time job as well. But still, I'll try and squeeze it all in for you. I hope you're enjoying all the content at the moment, the Warhammer 40k Legend book videos, the Warhammer 40k Conquest subscription service. I've made a lot of videos today around that, the White Dwarf magazine videos, and of course the typical Warhammer Wednesday videos. Hope you're enjoying all the content on the channel. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of the patrons. You really do support the channel. I don't get anything for free or early like other YouTubers, so I'm dependent on the money I make myself and obviously your support through Patreon. I did a giveaway last month, and as you can see, this guy from Poland won the Primaris Lieutenant. I've also said that if you are a Patreon and you continue being a Patreon every month, even like $1 a month or something like that, I will be giving away a free model every month. And at the moment, you've got a very, very high chance of winning a free model. And as the Patreons grow, obviously the quality of the models that I'll be giving away will improve too. So exciting times ahead. Anyway, that's not why you're here, for free models. Maybe it is. I'll continue with the news and pre-order video. So if we go over to the community website, last weekend was obviously the 27th, and they had a preview of the White Dwarf magazine. I've done a review of that magazine. I made that public Thursday evening for you all. I think that goes on sale today, so a few days earlier than the normal release. The day after, on the Sunday, they had a preview for the bundles and the battle forces. If you check out my Instagram, which is just here, it's just super_Saiyan, I typically put pictures of new releases and unboxings and things like that on there. And one of the pictures was for the Death Guard new battle force. Games Workshop will be announcing more battle forces soon. So let's just have a look at what they've announced. They've announced Thermic Plasma Nexus, Munitorum Munitions Hub, and an Imperial Sector. Also some Warhammer Age of Sigmar scenery kits, some painting bundles, which do save you a fair bit other than buying the paints and washes and things separately. Some different painting handles, a large one that can hold a Redemptor Dreadnought and also one that can hold multiple components. And then the battle forces, they only had two to show. It would have been nice if you get the big turtle in one of them, but I guess not. But it's cool that you get the Plague Burst Crawler in the Death Guard one, and I'm very, very interested in getting that, even though you do get the Surgeon in there. Also, they had a little bit of a tease of Blackstone Fortress, and all through this week, actually, they've been showcasing some of the models that are coming out in that set, so I'm really looking forward to that. October never ends. They had a bit of a preview here of the 2018 chapter approved. Unfortunately, no, they're not releasing a new kind of Orc tank kit. That would be awesome, but they are supplying you with rules if you want to use one, like a looted Baneblade even, or a Lehman Russ or whatever. So Blackstone Fortress kicked off at the start of the week with this image of one of the explorers. Really nice looking miniature. Obviously it's set in Warhammer 40,000. This is a Rogue Trader Janus Drake, or Drake, however you want to call it. I like these subtleties on the base as well with the skull and things. Hopefully they are real and they're not just added by the Heavy Metal team. Unlike some of the recent models like Garkor that had a skull on his base that didn't actually have a skull on his base, if that makes sense. But he's obviously smoking this huge spliff. No, I don't know what it is, but he's smoking something, and he's got this really cool kind of lizard beast skin on his back. Lots of attention to detail on that model. Orc Culture Index, a Rumour Engine, Hunt for Blackstone Fortress 2. So we had another preview, this time of a Kroot. Awesome looking like Explorer there. Tactics for the Cult of Speed, Reforged in Chaos, look into the Mortal Realms. Orcs, Ravens and an Imperial Agent, look at Black Library and Guy Haley specifically and the novels that he's been releasing recently. Happy Halloween, Trick or Traitor, some of the scariest monsters in Games Workshop's opinion. Yeah, I definitely would say the Lictor is one of them. Flayed Wands, Conrad Curse, Mandrakes and Calexis Assassins. I mean, personally, I think, you know, Tyranids should be really high up there, and definitely some of the Chaos stuff, like the Nurgle stuff or even the Slaanesh. Another hunt for another new model, this interesting spindle drone, it's called, mechanical spindle drone. That's very far removed from 40k aesthetics in my opinion. Regimental Boss Pole, the Orcs have still taken over the Boss Pole, very funny, interesting read. A look at the Throne of Skulls journey. A Mega Buggy Paintathon, they look at some of the new Orc buggies, look pretty awesome. Organised play for 2019. Hostiles for the Black Fortress, this very interesting Negavolt Cultist, or Megavolt, I want to call him Megavolt but it's called him Negavolt Cultist, looks pretty cool. Elven Grace and Reptilian Ferocity. These were the pre-orders for Forge World. I'll be going through them in a bit more detail in a moment. Essentially, you've got the cheerleading squad for the Elven Union team. And as you can see, these ladies are very thick elves there. And then you've also got some twins, the Swift twins, and then the crocodile from Peter Pan. I mean, Goliath Sumpkrok, lovely little model, £15 I think he is, and £3 delivery. You can't really go wrong adding him to your Necromunda gang for House Goliath specifically. However, I was a bit disappointed that the rules weren't available online for him, much like kind of like the other hired guns and bounty hunters, which Forge World did release the rules on there, because it kind of forces you to buy Gang War 3, which you will need to obviously field him now. A Tale of Four Warlords, Sound the Drums. Little look at what they've been doing, all their different armies. It's a long article there for Gav, Guy, Phil and Aaron. And then finally, this was the most interesting article that I've seen that came out yesterday, actually, on Friday. Had a bit of a recap. This is the Blood and Glory studio preview, so I had a bit of a recap on Nurgle Demons and Imperial Knights, Rogue Traders, and new edition of Age of Sigmar. So a lot has happened so far. So they look at what's happening next. So the next battle tome, Blood and Glory is going to be playing host to the world's biggest Warhammer Age of Sigmar tournament so far. Hundreds of players in attendance. Looks great. And then a Destruction Rising teaser trailer. Beasts of Legend. They were able to make some of the older Beasts of Chaos models. Awesome. Realm of Chaos. They've announced a new Wrath and Rupture box set, which has your bloodthirsty Demons of Khorne against Demons of Slaanesh, and includes new characters such as Fleshhounds. Finally, Chaos Khorne gets some new Fleshhounds, and they look pretty horrific. I love the usage of the rock there and all the stone, and they're very dynamic poses. And then these, I would have liked these in more of a dynamic pose, these Slaanesh beasts, but still, they're undeniably Slaanesh looking, and it can only mean that we'll get more Slaanesh models in the future. 40k, there's a reveal trailer for the Chapter Approved 2018, which includes taking looted wagons, fielding Commander Farsight's Elite Bodyguard for Tau, and also a beta codex for the Adepta Sororitas, which is pretty cool. So a beta codex, so you can use Adepta Sororitas already before they even bring them out. So that's a positive thing for Games Workshop to do, to bring these kind of beta rules out for Sisters of Battle before their full release next year, and also gives you a bit of a way of play testing them. Hopefully they'll gather your feedback too. Vigilus, the next chapter. Now it's time for the Imperium to strike back. Necromunda, there's a reveal for House Delac, or Delaque. I want to call it Delaque. But they're very, very thin and tall. I think they're too tall, but you know what? They're pretty spooky looking. I would have liked their cloaks to be bigger rather than kind of like skin wrap kind of cloaks, but still, it's a new gang for Necromunda. Can't go wrong. Night Vault, they've announced a new warband, the Goldsworn Hunt, which are these lovely people. Again, more dogs, more inclusion and diversity. Huge fan of that. And then they've announced something from the community, the Kill Team command roster. Building your dream kill team. You get a command roster. It's a free online tool that lets you build match play ready kill teams, and the Warhammer Underworld's deck builder. Celebrating Warhammer Heroes. First round of Warhammer Heroes was a roaring success. They're able to give a number of key pillars of the community the glory they deserved, and they're almost ready for round 2. So round 2 is going to be happening at some point, coming to Warhammer World soon. Podcasts, they looked at the Stormcast and Voxcast, and then here is this event-exclusive Space Marine Lieutenant. I put this on my Instagram, and there's a lot of talk about it already. Essentially, he's not going to be available until March next year, so quite a few months away, and he'll be available at the Adepticon in March, and then he'll be available at various events throughout the year. And they specifically say they're independently run Warhammer events next year, so I doubt you'll see him at the Warhammer Open Days or the Forge World Open Days or Black Library Open Days, but who knows? It would be nice if we did see that too. And then a final thing, they had the good in-depth look at Blackstone Fortress and the miniatures. As you can see here, they all look pretty new. I can't really see many duplicates or anything like that. They broke them all down. You've got an Eldari Ranger, or Eldar Ranger, a female Eldar Ranger, very thick lady, lovely looking, lovely purple thing, and also this Ministorum priest, Thaddeus the Purifier. I'm just going to call him Teddy for short, who's a complete zealot, following visions he believes were given to him by the Emperor himself. He's resplendent in all of his, Emperor kind of clothing and Imperial clothing. He's got this flamer kind of weapon here and this mace on this metal arm. Awesome looking dude. And then you get some new Chaos Space Marines. Yes, the poses are very similar to the old Chaos Space Marines, but the amount of more detail that are in these kind of remind me of what Games Workshop have done with Death Guard. I like the look of them. I'm not a huge fan of the pose, mainly because they're not really looking where they're shooting, well, obviously except for the left guy, but I'm very, very hopeful that this is just a taste of what's to come for the new Chaos Space Marines. I really want to have a look at their size comparisons, whether they're the same size as Death Guard or whether they're a little bit smaller, whether there's been a bit of a size increase and they're bigger than normal Space Marines. We'll see. They've definitely got more detail going on. There's going to be more previews and things tomorrow. Normally a lot of previews for this community website are brought up on Sunday, but no doubt there'll be even more up to the run up for Christmas. That's all the news. A lot to go through. Apologies that it's taken so long. Let's jump on over and have a look at the models. Let's go straight over to Forge World then. So there's the Sumpkrok. If we just go to new and pre-orders, there's just the 3. There's the Swift Twins for £24. There's the Elfheim Eaglettes, which is the Elf Cheerleading Squad for £22 for 4 models. And then there's the Goliath Sumpkrok for £15. As you can see, unfortunately, no rules there for the Sumpkrok, but looks like a really, really cool model and would go very well in like a Imperial sector, Imperial kind of city landscape. The Elf Cheerleading Squad, again, don't have the rules there. And the Swift Twins, neither do they. So they're all the new pre-orders for Forge World. They had a big pre-order last week, which was the Necron Seraptech, and I think the week before was the Huge Dragon. So Forge World are back on track now, and the shipping is better than ever. And yes, because I'm not sent anything for free, there's nothing happening behind the scenes with this channel. It gives me the freedom to say whatever I like about Forge World and Games Workshop. And although I don't agree with their business practices, I think that the new free shipping over £75 on standard items, and just the normal £3 shipping if it's under £75. It's so much better than it was before. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go over to Games Workshop and have a look at their new and exclusive models. So if we go to pre-orders and we view all, we go price high to low. For some reason, because I tried this earlier, they haven't put all the Christmas items and things on here for pre-orders, so all you're getting when you select this at the moment is just all the pre-orders from last weekend. All of this stuff is out this weekend. What we have to do is we have to go to new and exclusive and then look at the sort of new releases and things via the first page, which does kind of suck. If you select there, that's the modular scenery. You have to go through it with a fine comb almost. You've got the Sector Mechanicus, Derelict Factorum there. You've got the Thermic Plasma Nexus there, and the Imperial Sector there, and the Munitions Hub there. So then if we go back to new and exclusive, so it's very disjointed at the moment. You've got get your miniatures looking their best and then prepare for your next project. Space Marine Heroes, I can't see anywhere, but if you go to different websites, they are selling the heroes for I think £5 each, but it's kind of like a loot box gambling kind of thing where you pay your £5 for a Space Marine miniature, but you don't know what's in that box. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that because I think the hobby's more expensive enough without throwing a random factor into it all. I'm a strong believer in getting what you pay for, and if you get two of the same thing, you're going to be pretty gutted because they're not multi-pose. They're single pose character kind of heroes. But I understand in other countries it's all the craze, and obviously in the card industry you will get duplicates and things like that. But I just hope that Games Workshop have been quite fair in terms of making a similar amount of all of them so that you don't get 9 of the same Space Marine, but we'll see. I wanted to say that they're out today too, but I can't find them on Games Workshop's website. Let's have a look at these items. Now, I don't remember seeing these walls at all before. It might be a different colour that they've put them in. Is it a different sprue? I don't remember seeing these walls anywhere. Or even them, to be fair. This broken ruin part of the walls too. So maybe you're getting a new wall sections look. I'm sure I've never seen these wall sections before, but they look really cool, especially if you do the hazard lines and things. So in order to get the walls, unfortunately you're going to have to get all of this stuff too. But nice looking kit, and a great centerpiece for like a kill team board. Then you've got the Thermic Plasma Nexus. It's basically got the Ferrotonic Furnace, which we all know and love. It's got a Hemotrope Reactor, which is this thing. And then it's got 5 sets of Thermic Plasma Conduits, which are these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that can be yours for £125, quite pricey. Obviously all of this is made in China, not made in the UK. So it's with the cheaper plastic, but you can still get some good results through painting and shading the pieces. The Sector Imperialis, Imperial Sector, £80, and you get 10 frames of plastic components. You get 4 frames of wall sections, 3 frames of ruins, 1 top piece, and 3 frames of ruined Sector Imperialis buildings. So you can make 3 buildings with these, and these are pretty high, pretty tall buildings, pretty large, definitely going to take up a fair bit of space. You'd only need one of these £80 sets to provide enough buildings for a cityscape board even, I'd want to say. But very nice detailed buildings. I'd love to grab some of the new buildings myself for Kill Team and do some unboxings and reviews and paint guides as well for you, but that's not happening right now. So that's those. And then the Mechanicus Munitorum Munitions Hub. This has 2 sets of galvanic servo haulers and 10 Munitorum armoured containers and a huge selection of Promethean barrels. 30 barrels, 140 crates. Pretty good. This is all you'll need again for some kind of industrial sector of your Imperial board. Fantastic. But yeah, these have been out for quite a while now. Definitely good 2 years for the Munitorum containers. So that can all be yours for £125. And then let's have a look at the paint handles. So you've got a XL painting handle collection. If you're born with 6 arms, then obviously you can paint with 3 and hold 3 at the same time. You can have this collection, which has the smaller one, which you would have got free with your Warhammer 40,000 Conquest subscription. You get the assembly handle and the larger one. And there's the larger one. It can hold a Redemptor Dreadnought size model. The new water pot, which is conveniently a solid colour, so you can't see how much water is in it and what the water quality is like. Never mind. You've got the assembly handle, which can hold multiple components when you paint, and then you've got the paint sets themselves, which do save you a fair bit of money. I'd like to do a separate video to just break down how much you actually save, but you've got the most expensive there as £175 with the handle, tools, paints, a box. Then you've got the second most, which is the layer paint set, which is £150, which I believe includes every single layer paint, I want to say. You get the project paint set, which includes some shades as well as normal paints and some metallics. Then you get the base and shade paint set, which is going to be great value for money anyway, because they're the most paints that you're going to use. And then the paint and handle collection, which just includes 3 of the £5 normal paint and handles. So a lot of new things to pre-order, but you do have to kind of search for them. Unfortunately, they haven't bundled all of these new pre-order releases, these hobby releases, and even the senior releases into their pre-order section. I don't know why, I really don't, but they haven't done that this month, which is a bit shocking. I would have hoped that they'd have some kind of Christmas gift guide thing going on. I mean, it says gifts here, but I think that's just for their, yeah, it is a gift guide, but I was hoping that they'd have an extra section here. I know what you're thinking is, oh no, don't get another section, but I think it kind of needs that now, ready for Christmas. Just a Christmas gift guide tab, shouldn't be too hard, and bundle all of these project sets and handle sets and also the modular scenery into that tab. But hey, you know, I don't work for GW, don't design a website, but I think that would benefit a lot of people, because as it stands, you have to click on these individually at the moment, and it's not quite clear what's completely new. But if you spend £250, you do get a free brush case. Anyway, that's it for my news and pre-order video. I know it's a huge one this weekend, so thank you ever so much for sticking with me towards the end. As I said at the beginning, if you support me on Patreon, you've got a very high chance of winning a model every single month as a reward for supporting the channel. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.